This is the one thing that you can do right now to legally stop paying taxes forever, and it's called offshore banking. So let's talk about offshore banking in this video and how you can use it to never pay taxes again. Now there's a lot of different ways to try to avoid paying taxes, but most of them are illegal. If you want to go the legal route, then you need to look into doing something like offshore banking. I got interested in offshore banking after I saw someone else talking about it online. He has a channel where he talks about all kinds of stuff related to being financially free and retiring early. In one of his videos, he talked about an app that lets you easily set up your own offshore bank account so that you can stop paying taxes on your income, so I decided to check it out for myself. And after doing some more research, I realized that not only can you set up your own offshore bank account, but it's actually pretty easy to do and it doesn't cost very much at all. If you Google offshore bank account, you're gonna get a bunch of results saying that it's a scam or something you should avoid, but they're wrong. There's nothing wrong with having an offshore bank account, and it can be really helpful when it comes to saving on taxes. Offshore banking simply means having a bank account in a different country than the one you live in. For example, if you live in the US but have a bank account in Mexico, then you're doing what's called offshore banking. Now there's two reasons why someone might want to do this. First reason is to avoid paying taxes, and the second is to keep your money safe from theft or inflation. When it comes to avoiding taxes, the way it works is simple. Let's say you live in the United States and you make 10,000美元a year. After taxes are taken out, you'll probably have around 7,000美元left over. That's a lot of money, but it could be more if you had an offshore bank account. So here's how it works. You set up a company in a country like Panama and open a bank account for that company. Then when you're paid by your employer, you just deposit the money into your offshore bank account. Since the company is located in a different country than you are, you won't have to pay taxes on that income. Of course, you still have to pay taxes on the money you earn, but you don't have to pay them to the US government. You'll pay them to the government of the country where your company is located. Now, it's important to note that every country has different tax laws. Some countries don't charge any taxes at all, others have very low tax rates, and yet others have higher tax rates than what you would pay in the US, so it's important to do your research before setting up an offshore bank account so that you can find one that works best for you. The other reason people use offshore banking is to keep their money safe. This can be a great option if you live in a country with a lot of crime or political instability. By keeping your money in a bank account in a different country, you can help protect yourself from theft or seizure by the government. Now there's also another big benefit to having an offshore bank account, and that's that it can help you protect your privacy. When you open a bank account in your home country, you have to provide your social security number and other personal information, but when you open an offshore bank account, you won't have to share this information. This can help keep your money safe from identity thieves. So those are the main benefits of offshore banking. Now let me tell you how you can do it. So the first step to setting up an offshore bank account is to incorporate your business in a foreign country. This may sound complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. All you need to do is choose a country where you want to incorporate your business and then file the necessary paperwork. There are many countries that are popular for incorporating businesses, such as Panama, Nevada, and Wyoming. These countries offer a variety of benefits such as low taxes and strong privacy laws. Once you've incorporated your business, you can open a bank account in your name. You'll need to provide the bank with some information about your business as well as some documentation about yourself. This can include things like your passport and proof of address. Finally, you'll need to fund your account. You can do this by transferring money from your bank account in your home country. So that's the basic process of setting up an offshore bank account. It's not too difficult, but it can be time-consuming. Luckily, there's a company that will do all the work for you. They will help you incorporate your business in a foreign country and open a bank account in your name. They also have a mobile app that makes it easy to transfer money back and forth between your accounts. So if you're interested in learning more about offshore banking, be sure to check out the website. So we've talked about the benefits of offshore banking and how to do it. Now let's talk about why offshore banking is legal. There's a common misconception that offshore banking is illegal or only for criminals, but the truth is that it's perfectly legal. In fact, many wealthy people and celebrities use offshore banking to reduce their taxes and protect their assets. One of the main reasons why offshore banking is legal is because it allows people to take advantage of lower tax rates in other countries. This can help people reduce their overall tax burden, and it can also help stimulate economic growth in developing countries. Another reason why offshore banking is legal is because it helps people protect their assets. By keeping money in a bank account in a different country, people can help safeguard their savings and investments against things like political instability and natural disasters. Finally, offshore banking is legal because it allows people to maintain privacy. When you open a bank account in your home country, you typically have to provide your social security number and other personal information, but when you open an offshore bank account, you can often keep your information private. This can be helpful for people who want to avoid identity theft or who simply value their privacy. Overall, offshore banking is a legal and beneficial practice that can help people reduce their taxes, protect their assets, and maintain their privacy. Now, while offshore banking is legal, it's important to do it the right way. There are some things you should avoid doing if you want to stay on the right side of the law. First, you should never try to hide money from your home country's tax authorities. This is considered tax evasion, which is illegal. Second, you should never use an offshore bank account to launder money. Money laundering is another crime that can get you into serious trouble. Third, you should always comply with the laws of the country where your offshore bank account is located. Each country has different laws and regulations, so it's important to be aware of them. By following these tips, you can avoid the common mistakes that can get you into trouble with the law. In conclusion, offshore banking is a legal way to reduce your taxes, protect your assets, and maintain your privacy. It's a practice that's used by wealthy individuals and celebrities all around the world. Just be sure to do it the right way so that you don't run into any trouble with the law, and that's why I think everyone should consider setting up an offshore bank account. It's not only a great way to save on taxes, but it's also a good idea for asset protection and privacy reasons. So if you're interested in learning more about offshore banking, be sure to check out the website. I highly recommend checking out the video that I mentioned at the beginning of this one. It's a great introduction to the topic of offshore banking, and it covers everything from the basics to more advanced strategies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.